I hate gift giving and receiving.
Receiving gifts is so weird. What do you say? Thank you?
This is Coffee Convos with Kale Lowry and Lindsay Chrisley.
I really want you to be in your feels, Kale.
That does not interest me whatsoever.
I feel very attacked by you.
A spirited discussion about motherhood, friendship, family, and life in the public eye.
I'm just not with the fakery anymore.
There's a fakery bakery around here.
Here's Kale and Lindsay.
Hello, Lindsay. I'm ambushing you.
Hello.
We're already recording. Listen to me when I tell you shit is going down this season. I have strep and I have COVID. And so I am recording from home today.
Did we already say welcome to Coffee Convos podcast?
Absolutely not.
Oh, okay. Well, good morning to everyone and welcome to Coffee Convos podcast. This is brought to you by sickness.
This is brought to you by very ill.
Ma'am,
You don't
literally
sound great.
said yesterday at Pilates, I was like, oh my God, I think I'm getting sick. I come home, I record with Kristen, everything's good. And I decided that it was a good idea to get a Bloody Mary and potato soup. When I tell you, by the time I got home, I threw up every bit of it. It was absolutely so disgusting. I told Kristen, I was like, I'm literally going to lay in the bed and record Coffee Convos, and that's just going to be it. Also, I just threw up in the Chick-fil-A drive-thru and also threw up in my bushes before I came back into the house.
Love that for us. You're just getting sick and I'm on the mend. My throat finally doesn't hurt anymore because I've been on antibiotics for 4 days, 3 days, 4 days. And I'm out of isolation from COVID on Friday.
Isolation.
I had to Google I had to go on Delaware.gov or whatever it is for the new COVID guidelines because I didn't know what is the new protocol. So I just needed to make sure that I was doing the right thing. I had to let anyone know that I was, thankfully, I wore a mask when I felt like I was getting sick. And even though I tested negative first, I tested negative last week. I still wore a mask because I was like, okay, even though it's saying negative, I still don't want to give anyone my cold during this season. So I wore a mask and stuff, tested negative, tested positive for strep. And then the next day I was like, I have never had a runny nose with strep. Something is not right.
Something's wrong. Yeah.
So I took a different brand at-home test and tested positive. So I've been home ever since, and I'm out of Alani. So I had this DoorDash to my house really quick, which is Celsius. It's not too bad. I've tried it before, but I definitely prefer my Alani.
I also prefer Alani over Celsius, but the thoughts of even drinking one of those right now literally makes me sick. Last week, when I tell you, Kale, demons were after me. I swear, something was after me. I went to Pilates, I'd gotten Jackson dropped off at school, went to Pilates, made it to the car wash. This is all before 9 a.m. I get out of the car wash because I don't know if y'all have these, but my car wash is a membership. So you can go through
Mine is too.
one time a day, I think, which I absolutely love this thing. So I'm just doing my normal daily pull through. And I get out of the car to go vacuum and I look and literally my rim is on the ground. I've never had a flat tire in all the time of me driving ever. And I'm like, okay, that's very alarming because how did I even get here? And is it possible to have that flat of a tire and not notice it and just be driving down the road? So I call one of my girlfriends and I'm like, hey, I think my tire's pretty flat. Do you think that you could come help? And she's like, well, I would, but blah, blah, blah is going on. And I'm like, okay, great. So now I have to call Will. So I call Will and he and I get in a pissing match because he's trying to ask me all the questions. When you're in a bad situation and then people start asking you questions, if you get in a wreck and someone's like, well, how's the car? It's that's literally not important right now. What is important is the fact that my nerves are literally shot So he's asking me all these questions, and I'm like, basically the tire's just flat and it's on its rim, and I just need help, and you're no help. So thank you to this little tie-dye thing I got on QVC. It literally has like an air compressor. You like you can do all, like you can jump a car, like there's all these
Time
things you
out.
can do on it.
What the fuck is what is the chokehold that QVC has on you? Why would you buy that if you've never had a flat tire?
Well, it was like tie-dye, and it can pump up basketballs.
Mm-hmm. So you were like, I need this. I have to get this from QVC. I need this in the event of a flat tire.
Yes, I'm going to be like one of those ladies that sits in front of, like how QVC is like on the TV.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be one of those that's like buying all the things that are on there. Actually, my papa had a sister who did that. Like she just bought stuff on QVC all day. She sat in front of the TV and bought stuff. And I'm like, okay, well, it's probably an inherited gene. But I'm just like, thank God that I have this thing, but I don't know how to use it. So I'm like, you know what? Well, actually don't come, because I don't need your help, because I can figure this out by myself.
Mm-hmm.
Well, me figuring it out by myself was really just asking the manager at the car wash if he knew how to use it. So he came and helped me. Do you realize that my tire was on 4 PSI? 4.
And you drove like that?
30.
It's supposed to be on like 30. Yeah.
Mine's like 36. 4. It was on 4. Will's like, well, like, how flat is it? And I'm like, 4 PSI. Stop asking me freaking questions.
So was it a slow leak?
Well, I'm thinking not. I don't know. It's a conundrum, because I then drove it to the tire shop immediately. And I'm like sitting in front of the tire shop. They come out before you like pull into the bay, and they're like, can you tell me what's going on so I can tell you like which bay to pull in? And I said, well, if I knew what was going on, that would be better, but I don't. My tire was on 4 PSI and I didn't even realize it. And he was like, oh, wow. When was it on 4 PSI? And I was like, literally like 10 minutes ago. And he was like, okay, we'll go ahead and like pull up. So nicest guy. He's like looking at all my stuff, and he's like, this is so strange. He's like, there's no visible anything. So he's like, just don't get on the freeway and just drive around here. And if nothing happens, then great. But if it does, then just bring it back. And I'm like, great. So I'm probably going to get a blowout like somewhere where I can't just bring it back, and I'm going to have to be towed to this place. So I've been driving around for days, and that tire has more PSI in it than any of the others.
So basically cold air?
I just don't think that that's possible. I think somebody did that to me. I think, is there a way that you can take the cap off and like get the air out?
I think so. I think that would be more of like a slow leak. Don't quote me on that. I don't know.
Well, I don't know, but that's what happened to me. So then by the time I get home, I'm like waiting. I literally have the PSI reader like open at all times at this point on my little dashboard thing. And I'm just like watching it. I'm driving home. I come inside, and the dog had diarrhea all over her crate.
So you're
And
having a
like,
fantastic start to your week?
This was really good. So then I get her cleaned up.
Mm-hmm.
I go to open my refrigerator because I put meat in there because I was going to make my taco bowls. The meat like basically exploded somehow in my refrigerator, and there was blood going everywhere.
That's probably red dye, not actually blood. So that's one thing that you could not be freaked out about. But nonetheless, that's disgusting, and nobody wants to clean that shit up.
No. So then I'm just like, you know what? Today actually feels canceled. So I think I'm just like not doing anymore.
The whole week feels canceled. I want to just make a PSA really quick. Between your shit show going on, us being sick over here, I also just want to let our listeners know really quickly. It's been brought to my attention. Actually, I've known this for a long time, and we've been trying to deal with it, but I just want to like make a PSA. My Facebook fan page, like Kale's official fan page on Facebook, has been hacked for some time now, and Meta hasn't been able to figure it out. They're posting all kinds of clickbait stuff, articles, videos, and things like that. and I see it on my timeline, but if I go to the page itself, I don't see it. Meta has not been able to figure it out, and I know that they're from a different country, like the hackers, I'm pretty sure, because they used to post in another language and like their location was on there, but we can't figure it out. So I just want to let everyone know that if you guys see clickbait, I do believe that influencers have a responsibility. Lindsay and I touched on this last week. Lindsay, touched on it. She's right. They do absolutely have a responsibility here with the clickbait. And if someone else is posting for you, I don't have someone posting for me. Someone hacked it. I do delete what I see, but it isn't me. So I just want to make a quick PSA.
That's so annoying and stressful.
It's so annoying. It is, because you can make money off of Facebook through like videos and posts and stuff like that. You can, but I don't have that ability. They took away or they disabled my monetization. So because one, it's not me collecting the funds if there was any. And two, we don't know who's collecting it, and Meta can't figure out who hacked it. So that is a stream of income that I could be making over the last several years, and I can't because it's hacked.
That's so annoying.
So
I
love
hate
that
for
for
you.
us. I'm like, love that for us.
So 2023 is already well underway. We all know this, right? But you don't want to wait any longer to level up your small business and kind of set yourself up, your year up for success. So get ahead of the competition. Don't run to the post office for everything that you need, because stamps.com will help you, right? They mail, ship, they let you print your own postage and shipping labels right from your home or office. It's ready to go in minutes, and you can get back to running your own business sooner. Also, if you're like me and Lindsay, we cannot stand the post office. That is one thing that I would love to take off my list at all times.
I absolutely hate going to the post office and love having stamps. If you guys have never heard of stamps, they have rates that you're literally not going to find anywhere else, like up to 84% off USPS and UPS. And for 25 years, stamps.com has been indispensable for over 1 million businesses. And it truly is just a stress-free solution for every small business. So you can set your business up for success when you get started with stamps.com today. Sign up with promo code COFFEE for a special offer that includes a 4-week trial plus free postage and a free digital scale. No long-term commitments or contracts. Just go to stamps.com, click the microphone at the top of the page, and enter code COFFEE.
I'm Lola Blanc.
And I'm Megan Elizabeth.
And we're the hosts of Trust Me, Cults, Extreme Belief, and Manipulation.
Right here on Podcast One.
Join us this month as we explore the world of conspiracy theories.
We'll interview experts about how conspiracies start,
dive into the psychology of how they spread,
and learn how you can help stop the spread of false information.
Join us for Conspiracy Month right here on Trust Me.
Get new episodes every Wednesday on Podcast One, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
In other news, is there anything positive going on this week? I don't want us to be huge Debbie Downers this week.
Okay, well, remember when we had that like glitch and my TV did like that weird thing on Coffee Combos like weeks and weeks ago? And remember when I talked about hearing these doorbell rings? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Okay. So I officially am so glad that this happened, because I now know that I wasn't phantom hearing anything. The lady who comes and helps me clean on Friday, she was in my kitchen. I was in my kitchen, and the doorbell rang, and she goes to look at the door to like see who's there, and no one's there. And she kept saying, "Ooh, like spooky." And I'm like, first of all, and I called her name. I was like, that's not funny. I was like, because something is legitimately going on. Like, and this could not be, remember when Jackson was like, someone's ding dong ditching you?
Yeah.
No, like that's not what this is, because no one has enough time to get anywhere when you hear the doorbell ring. And I have not heard that doorbell ring since the last time we talked about it.
That's kind of weird. That's really sketchy.
Do you feel like it's like a spirit?
Well, I had 2 people message me to let you know that, there's definitely a spirit going on.
But didn't one of the people that messaged you give you like details about the spirit?
Yeah, I don't think I have them anymore, but yes, they like told me to tell you, and I forget what it was. I said it to you, but I don't remember anymore.
the description that you sent me is definitely my grandfather and literally freaks me out. And when I heard that doorbell ring, and somebody else was here, and just like the fact that she also heard the doorbell ring and no one was there made me feel like not so crazy.
Are you not comforted that like you have a feeling it's your grandfather? Is that not comforting? It still freaks you out?
Well, what if it's like an electrical issue and it like blows my freaking house up?
That's one of my fears is like electrical shit. Like in my dog room, it sounds like the lighting is flickering in the wall, like when you flip it on. And even I had said something to Elijah, and then Lincoln said something to me, and I was like, I'm gonna have the builder check it out. That's one of my fears, because you can't do anything about an electrical fire. Like you don't until the damage is done. So that's terrifying.
Yeah, so that is what I'm terrified of. I'm like, okay, Papa, if it's you, then like do something else other than messing with like electrical shit.
Right. Like
that would be
literally
great.
any fucking thing else. Mess with the water, don't burst a pipe, but like turn the water on or something.
So when
mess
he
up my
passed away,
closet.
I was living with my nanny. Did I tell you this about the stove?
I don't think so.
Okay, so my papa loved for my nanny to cook, and she is like the greatest cook. You'll have to come to her kitchen sometime. And so when he passed away, Will and I were living with Nanny because our house was being built. Nanny had never lived by herself ever. Like, so I told Will, I was like, let's just like go move in with her. That'll be comforting for her. I'm not working. I'm full blown pregnant. Like, this will be good for her.
Right.
So Nanny would cook for us all the time. Well, right after he passed away, her oven would be glitching.
No. Mm-mm.
And so some days she would like try to go turn it on and it wouldn't turn on. Sometimes it would turn on by itself.
Oh, no. No, because that's a fire hazard.
Like literally. So then she called somebody and they were like, well, it could be like this switchboard panel and, you know, it's like hundreds of dollars to fix, whatever. So she's like, well, sometimes it does come on. Sometimes I don't have problems with it. And they're like, that's just basically insinuated that she was lying, that like that's not possible. And so we just like let it ride for a while because it would work and then it wouldn't work. And then whatever. So Nanny moves to Nashville, hasn't had any of those problems. Then we're going through all of this stuff with my parents. I start hearing these doorbell rings. And then I tell my dad about these doorbell rings. And I'm like, I have to tell someone that will like believe me because it is starting to make me crazy. And he said, that's so weird that that's happening. He said, because our oven went out last week.
That's really weird.
Isn't that weird? So I'm like,
so
it has to be, yeah, like it has to be something. And like,
that's so weird.
I believe in spirits and like stuff like that. Like I think that stuff is real.
Well, just like too much of a coincidence for me. I know that you're like more of like a religious and spiritual person in that way. And I'm more of like the universe kind of thing. But that's definitely something like either the universe or God or whatever you believe in is definitely trying to tell you something. I had a similar thing happen after we recorded the bonus episode of Coffee Combos not that long ago. And then everything else kind of came together. And people were saying kind of similar things. It's like the universe is either telling you you're on the right path or you're right where you should be, or the spirits are trying to tell you something. So definitely write things down as they happen. Yeah, literally. But like write things down as they happen so that you can kind of try to figure out how to put the pieces together once everything comes full circle.
Well, when I start figuring it out, I will write it all down. And when I start figuring it out, I'll let you guys know.
In other news, I want to talk about something that has been on my mind since last week, and I saved it specifically for this podcast. I know Jackson has a phone, and so maybe you will relate or understand where I'm coming from on this. So since Isaac got a phone, which was a couple years ago, that has kind of been, I hate that I have to do this or that I felt like I had to do this, but like as a consequence, he would get it taken away. So like if he didn't do good in school, he'd get his phone taken away. If he was being, a smart ass and talking back to me, he'd get his phone taken away. And I have two things to say to that point now. One, taking his phone for talking back to me probably was not the right consequence for the action.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to take full responsibility for that. But second, this last time that he got his phone back for his birthday, I had given him this whole speech. He had turned his grades around in English because he just didn't give a fuck about English, and rightfully so. I completely understand.
It's like, but you
I
got to
had
do it.
Yeah, like I was like, you know, unfortunately you can't, because he wanted to listen to his books instead of reading them, and I get that, but I was like, unfortunately, like the way this works in middle school is like you can't. And so he had his phone taken away for like 6 months, and for his birthday, I got him a new phone, and I basically was like, this is your new phone. If your grades start to slip, I will take the phone, because that would, for me, it's more of like a distraction, and that's why your grades are slipping kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So he got his phone for his birthday, which was like last week or 2 weeks ago. And we did have some sick days. And so I got a notice from his teacher that things weren't handed in. Well, evidently he handled it on his own. And so when I emailed the teacher, I was like, what is going on? Like, what do I need to do? Blah, blah, blah. And she's like, actually, Isaac asked for help when he needed it. And so I prematurely like took the phone. Well, Joe did. And I texted Joe back and I said, listen, I'm going to give Isaac his phone back because the teacher emailed saying that he handled it on his own. He got help. He handed in the work, blah, blah, blah. Go to school the next day, and I had this like to drop him off, and I had this like overwhelming feeling, and I don't know why or where it's coming from. I mean, I feel like I could figure it out, but I was like, you need your phone when you're not home. If I take his phone as a consequence, it would be like, okay, once you're in the car with me and we go home, make sure that your schoolwork is done, your chores are done, kind of thing, and then you can have your phone back. Especially for when you leave the house. I had this like overwhelming feeling that he can't have his phone taken from him anymore. He's 13. Excuse me. There's crazy shit going on in the world. There's shootings all over the United States from, at schools and stuff. And I just felt like I can no longer take his phone away from him when he's not home.
Honestly, that is the scariest thing. I know I just have a elementary schooler, but I feel like middle schoolers are just different, and the way that school operates is just very different. And the risk, not that there's not risk in any school, but the risk just seems like higher with a middle schooler. That I agree. Like, I would never let my middle schooler get out of my sight without a way to communicate with me. That would literally make me go insane.
Yep. That was like the overwhelming feeling I felt when I dropped him off. It was just like, we're not doing this. And it's not even the school shootings. It's also bullying. Truthfully, the shit that we've seen in headlines about teachers acting out crazy. And just like overall how scary things are in society now. I just do not feel comfortable sending him anywhere without a phone. And so I texted Joe, and he was like, no, that's completely understandable. Like, that's fair. So if for any reason he does get his phone taken away for slipping grades or anything like that, it'll be literally just at home. And like, turn your phone in once you're with me and you're safe and I know where you're at. But anywhere he outside of home, he needs his phone. And that is so terrifying to me.
So Jackson did get his phone surprisingly taken last week. It's sitting on my bedside table now, and it's been there for a week. But, you're probably right about, I never would let him out of my sight going somewhere, even at his age, without his phone, unless he's like with Will.
Mm-hmm.
But they can't take phones to school in elementary school. So, he wouldn't be having it during the day anyway. And the whole point of him getting the phone is probably very different than why Isaac has a phone, because the basis of me getting Jackson the phone was for him to be able to freely communicate with Will's parents, Will's brothers, and Will however he wanted to when he was with me.
Right.
And not have to ask me to use my phone.
Right.
If he wants to, even if his phone was taken and he's like, I want to like call or like FaceTime my Baba or Papa, I would be like, absolutely. Like, that's fine. But I have location services turned on his phone. So even when he has his phone, when he's with Will, I can see where he's at.
Yeah, I downloaded Life 360, the app on, and I pay for like the better subscription on Life 360 for Lincoln and for Isaac now. And then I also, I think like 3 days ago, I just got air tags for their backpacks, and that's just more for like school. I'm scared. You know what I mean? Like if there's any kind of shit going on, or if they lose it or whatever.
Wait, tell me about the air tag with the backpack, because maybe I need to do that.
So I had seen, actually talked about on Baby Mamas, we were talking about this dad who did it to like track the mom's location
Oh my God.
allegedly. Yeah, it was like kind of scary. That is not why I did it. I ended up just doing it because of, their kids in elementary school. Also, I'm just like nervous, I guess. Like I'm having anxiety about like society and like things. But I got the air tags with the little keychain holder for just to know where their backpacks are. And if they go on like a school trip and they have their backpacks on the bus or for any reason like that, that's why I got the air tags.
I will be buying an air tag tomorrow. So thank you for that little
You're welcome.
tidbit.
Seasons are changing. Spring is coming. Stores have bathing suits out. And I know you guys don't want to go to the store. So I'm telling you, Stitch Fix is the best way to discover new styles and brands and all those things just for you. And if you have kids like us, you probably need new clothes for the kids for the springtime. Last year's stuff is out. Stitch Fix is perfect. All you have to do is answer a few questions about where you typically like to shop and what you typically like to wear, what your price range is. And I love this for having multiple children. This is a game changer for me. You can try pieces on at home before you buy them, and then you can keep what you love or what your kids love and send the rest back. The best part of this, the most convenient part of this, is that they already have a prepaid shipping label in your Stitch Fix. So that you're able to put the label on for anything that you don't want to keep. You can send right back. You don't have to go anywhere. You can literally just pop it in your mailbox or on your front porch, wherever you send things that you're returning. There's no subscription required, and you can order a refresh as you need it, or you can set it and forget it with seasonal fixes. You're in full control. I'm obsessed with this.
So I actually just ordered stuff for me and for Jackson. I ordered a fix for both of us, because sometimes it's just nice to have someone else like eyeballing stuff and picking things that you like, and you don't have to do it. So I absolutely love it. And a fun fact is I have never sent anything back to Stitch Fix. They do such a good job like picking and, curating the box. I absolutely love it so much. And right now, Stitch Fix is offering our listeners $20 off their first fix at stitchfix.com/combos. That's stitchfix.com/combos for $20 off today. stitchfix.com/combos. Also, back to the cell phone thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard in today's society. I feel like that punishment probably worked when I had a cell phone differently than it would work today.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to say that we didn't have risk when I was growing up, because we certainly did. But I just feel like society is so different today than it was when we were kids, that if my parents took my phone, I don't think they truly worried about my safety. You know what I mean? Like me going to school without a phone. I don't think that was like a safety concern. But even when Jackson goes to like the little camps that I told you about,
Mm-hmm.
I put his phone in his backpack when he goes to those camps, because to your point, if something happened, I want him to be able to like freely text me and let me know what's going on.
Right.
I just think of like the worst shit ever like happening.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I'm like, what if like an adult did something to him or something like that, and then he didn't have access to a phone, or like to be able to immediately call me and be like, Mom, need help, like,
Mm-hmm.
which leads me to think, should I have a safe word that like he should be texting? Do y'all have
I
safe
think
words?
so. Yes. I'm not going to say what it is, but we came up with an emoji.
Oh, you did?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So then I'm going to talk to Will about that and Jackson, and we'll come up with our own emoji too. That's a really good idea.
Even if this is anxiety getting the best of us, I'd rather be safe than sorry. And the only one thing I want to say, like kind of in regards to this, and the AirTag situation, I need to look into if 2 people can connect to the AirTags because, like I said, I just want to clarify this is not for like the baby daddies. So if Chris wants to connect his phone to Lux's AirTag for like just safety purposes or locating the backpack, I need to see like maybe you and Will could also do that, but also Life 360, you can put Will in a circle, it's called. I can show you. With you and Jackson's phone and have it in this little kids folder. And it's this purple app. It kind of looks like the Apple phone. And it even has, you can see their percentage of battery on their phone. So like right now, Lincoln's battery is at, his dad must have turned this off, and that kind of pisses me off because, yeah, he turned his location off. He's literally at school. I don't care about where he's going, like outside of school and once he's with his dad. Anyway, you can, so my friend Kat has hers on, hers is at 82%. My friend Quay is at 73%. And then it says like miles per hour they're traveling, how long their drive was, things like that. So like for purposes of safety, it's really, really great. And you can put them in a circle. So it's just you 3 if you want. So you guys both have access.
Okay, well, I'm going to be looking into all of this. So thanks for letting me know.
Welcome, girly. I have all my stuff pulled up on this other laptop in front of my face, but I need to tell you that since I've been sick, so Kristen came to visit last week, and that's what, like that day I started to feel really, really sick. Like my body was hurting, my neck was hurting, it was crazy. So Friday I ended up not recording for my other podcast, and I was just like, let me sleep, because anytime I go a significant amount of days without sleep, not sleeping well, I get really sick. And I think it's just like my body, I don't know. That's just what I've noticed. I forced myself to get up out of bed on Friday because even though I was sick and didn't know that I had COVID or strep yet, because I was so fucking scared of slipping back into depression from sleep, like just like being in bed all day. And it's crazy that like I literally have PTSD from depression because I'm so fucking scared of giving myself a day off and then like my body likes it or my body just like slips back into depression, even though I clearly need the rest and I clearly need to sit the fuck down somewhere and I clearly need to like have quality sleep. I literally got out of bed. I set an alarm and I forced myself to get out of bed because I was like, I do not want to be depressed again.
That honestly traumatizes me to listen to it because I love nothing more than a good lazy day.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't had one in a while. I've had a couple that I thought I was going to be lazy on them and then it just like didn't pan out. Those are my least favorite days actually ever. But the thoughts of having to worry about depression if I had a lazy day would terrify me.
Yeah, it's like I now have anxiety or PTSD or something from my depression. I'm just fucking scared. Like it doesn't, I'm getting ready almost every single day. Whether like I didn't really do my hair too much today, but I did do my makeup, even though I'm sick and I don't really feel great. Because I felt better getting ready, getting out of bed. And I do never, ever, ever want to go back to that place where I am fucking depressed, that depressed. And I'm terrified. So
I wonder
don't know if that's normal.
you should talk to like your doctor or therapist about that because I mean, there's got to be some type of happy balance. I am a big believer in you feel so much better if you get up, have a routine and like put yourself together.
Mm-hmm.
I do think that that is so good for you and you have way more productive days when you do that.
Yeah.
So I love that you're actually doing that. But some days it's really nice to like not do that and to just, you know, find your sheets, honestly. Like
Yeah.
get up in them.
Yeah.
If you guys saw what I looked like right now, you would be very alarmed. When your throw up sick, Kill, do you put like something by your bed in case you get sick?
Yes. Actually, it's funny that you mentioned that because when we had the stomach bug 2 weeks ago, it's literally been hell. I also have been bleeding on and off for the past 2 weeks. So
Oh
COVID,
gosh.
strep, bleeding. I have a bowl. I keep a bowl next to my bed when I'm sick. If my kids are sick, I keep a bowl in their rooms. And I also had a bowl in my car, which I just took out today because when Isaac was the last one to get the stomach bug, and I took him to his dad's and I sent him with the bowl. So yes, when
You
I'm throw up
sent him
sick,
with the bowl.
yeah, I had a little care package for him and everything. And I sent him with the bowl, and then Joe sent the bowl back. So
Wait, what made me think of it was because I was scrolling on social media and it was this like meme or something. And it was like the bowl that you put by your bed when you puke is the same bowl that you ate family popcorn on family movie nights.
literally, no, but literally though, literally.
And I
Oh my
was
God,
just
that's so
thinking
funny.
about it because I had a bowl by my bed last night.
And it was the popcorn
And
bowl.
it was not the popcorn bowl. It's like
Oh,
my bowl that I like make like soup or like stew in.
uh-huh.
And now I feel like I have to like, do you just like throw it away or do you just sanitize it like in the dishwasher? And like also who gave us those ideas? Like why do we feel like we needed to do that?
No, mine is definitely the popcorn bowl, like 100%, and I don't throw it away. But now that I'm thinking about it, maybe we need throw up bowls. Like we're trademarking throw up bowls, like designated throw up bowls. And
Designated ones.
you heard it,
Yes.
yes. So that you don't have to reuse it for other things. You don't have to worry about it not being sanitized.
It's so
Designated
disgusting
throw
if
up
you
bowls.
really think about it.
Oh yeah, I mean, you guys. I don't know if you guys know this, but I typically will not throw up in a toilet unless I absolutely have no other choice. I typically throw up in the sink, and
Oh, honey,
then
I was hugging that bowl all last night. Like,
oh, I'm sorry. Oh, that's the word. And Bloody Mary too. Like you're throwing up. Like I would have been scared. Like I probably would have forgot that I had a Bloody Mary and thought it was blood, and then I would have went to the ER for nothing. So kudos to
wait,
you. Thank
I
God you
do.
knew it was a Bloody Mary.
I do have to tell you though, last thing, and then we can get into some of the listener questions. But my parents were way smarter than most of us growing up, evidently, because they would put a clean trash can by the bed with a trash bag in it.
Oh, they're smarter than us. Got it.
Yeah. So then you
Okay.
just take the trash bag out and then like you're Gucci.
Did I tell you on this? Did I ever say on this podcast when we went to Philly I went to Philly with the kids, the three older kids, because I don't ever really get to take them anywhere since Creed's just at that age where he's 2, so he can't really do certain things. So I was like, let me take the big kids somewhere. We went to a Sixers game, went to a museum. Lincoln ended up getting the stomach bug that night. Did I say what happened? So first of all, one of my biggest icks, all of the above, is trash cans with no trash bags. And I don't know when that became a thing for like hotels, because I feel like
That's
when I
so
first
unsanitary.
it is. And like when I used to stay at hotels, I remember them having bags in the mini trash cans. Like I
Yep.
remember that being a thing, and housekeeping would change them out. But then somewhere along the lines, and I know it was probably like an eco-friendly decision, but hotels stopped putting those bags in their mini trash cans. And one, I think that's so disgusting. I do not want to see trash stuck to the bottom, stuck to the side, candy. I have kids, like the food stuck to this. Like I'm so disgusted by that.
That is
So it's so disgusting. So I buy the little bags for my bathroom trash cans here. Well, when we stayed at the hotel in Philly, they also didn't have the little trash bag in their cans. And Lincoln is so sick. I'm throwing up at 1 a.m. He gets up at 3. He starts throwing up too. I thought that he made it to that little mini trash can that they have like under the desk in the like by the beds.
Yeah.
No. And that poor boy threw up all over the carpet, and I felt so bad for the housekeeping that I tipped them all the cash that I had, because I got what I could off the carpet, but I couldn't do it. And that makes so much sense. Had there have been a bag in a trash can, I would have just put that by our beds.
See, the fact that you cleaned up the throw up would have then made me have to
Oh,
throw
I
up.
did. It did. It made me throw up immediately. Like when I was cleaning it up, trying to get it out of the carpet with no cleaning supplies, I immediately threw up.
So is this a thing whenever you get older and don't have babies anymore? Like when Jackson used to have like blowouts, like whatever, that didn't bother me at all. Like I would
When
clean
they
it up
go
perfectly fine.
when they go from babies and toddlers to like children, like humans, not that not that babies are not human, but like little people, and their poops are solid, their throw up is like human and not like infant.
Yep.
Immediately, no, I'm checked out. I don't want to clean up your throw up anymore. Like you better run to the trash or the toilet, because I will not be cleaning up chunks.
Oh my God, that is just so disgusting. The
Foul.
thoughts that honestly terrifies me more than anything. And truly, my stomach has gotten so weak as I have become an old lady that the smallest little
lady.
thing makes me weak. Like
Yeah, same.
anything, like me seeing like 3 turds in a toilet that didn't belong to me, weak. Dog shit always has made me weak. Like I just like don't do well with that. Throw up, including my own, not well. Like such a weak stomach. So I'm like, okay, is that a sign that like I'm probably
We're
not
just
having
getting
another
old.
kid?
Oh, yeah, or that.
Speaking of how we feel when we wake up in the morning, do you check your credit score when you wake up?
Absolutely not.
I didn't think so. So Chime does for you. So if you guys want to have somebody else do it for you and kind of regularly keep you posted, that's what they do at Chime. They have secured Chime Credit Builder Visa credit cards that you can start to build credit with your own money, which is really nice. They report your payments to credit bureaus to help you build credit over time. Their members see an increase of 30 points on average. All of this with no annual fees, large security deposits, or credit checks to apply. Thank God Kristen told me about this when I've been trying to grow my credit, and I was able to accomplish just that.
We absolutely love Chime for all of those reasons. So you guys can start your credit journey with Chime. Sign up takes only 2 minutes and doesn't affect your credit score. Get started at chime.com/convos. That's chime.com/convos. The Chime Credit Builder Visa credit card is issued by Stride Bank in a pursuant to a license from Visa USA Chime checking account, and $200 qualifying direct deposit required to apply for the secured Chime Credit Builder Visa credit card. Regular on-time payment history can have a positive impact on your credit score. Impact to score may vary, and some user scores may not improve. Out-of-network ATM withdrawal fees may apply, except at MoneyPass ATMs in a 7-Eleven or any Allpoint or Visa Plus Alliance ATM. Okay, let's do some listener stuff.
Okay, let's do some listener stuff. Hopefully nothing is like, we've had enough like sick talk, bad, just like not good energy stuff. So from the Facebook group, I struggle to simplify things to my 6-year-old. Doesn't really matter what it is. I'm constantly using words that are too big for her. So instead of explaining the topic, I spend more time explaining what words mean. Then we get off topic. I've considered a child's dictionary to help, but she is learning to read. She's just learning to read. Any suggestions?
Okay, first of all,
I struggle with that in general. I feel like I try to oversimplify like what I'm saying. I do it on the podcast. I do it in conversation. People know what I'm saying, and I still try to dumb it down for them for some reason. Like they don't know what I'm talking about. And so I also need advice, Lindsay, if you could share some tips.
Okay, so this like really gets on my nerves, and I'm just like, do better, honestly, like learn words. No, I'm just kidding. This happened to me and Jackson on the way to school yesterday, and I was trying to think of the word, and he's 10, so it's not going to get any better, honestly. So you have signed up for child, and child is going to get on your nerves. I do think 6 years old is that age that they want to ask questions about everything. And so that's probably like a little bit of it too. But I don't like talk to Jackson in a vocabulary, like my vocabulary when I talk to him, it is not like, I'm not saying words that I think that he wouldn't understand, because I specifically know he's going to start asking me questions, and then I'm going to have to explain something. And here's the other thing. I'm not a good explainer. So then when I'm asked about this word, I know what it means. So then I'm questioning myself if I use the word in the right context, and I'm like trying to explain like what it is. So then no, I just like say, did you take a shit? Or like, I'm just like very like simple, just like very simple.
Like you don't use big words, you use just
Small
regular words,
like shit and stuff.
just like shit and stuff. It's fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't really know that that's like helpful. I think that you just like need to dumb yourself down.
Okay. I mean, if that's it, that's it. Also from the Facebook group, but don't be rude. Sorry, this is going to be long and all over the place. I just recently broke things off with my son's father of 3 years. I just couldn't take the disrespect anymore. Our son is going to be 1 on Monday, and I told him he isn't allowed to come to his birthday party Saturday. I know that's shitty of me to do, but it's because he hasn't done anything for our son. This whole first year of our son's life, I did everything. He has barely paid for anything, and if he did, I would have to beg. He didn't have a job for 6 months and wouldn't even watch our child when I went to work. He would leave the baby with my mom. He finally got a good job, and I asked him for money. He told me I make enough money to support. Okay, I'm already pissed off. He told me I make enough money to support both me and the baby, and his money is only for him. Mind you, he has another son, and he gives that son's mother over $400 a month, which still isn't a lot, but it's better than nothing. I told him if he can't help me financially, then he can't come to this birthday party or even see his son. I was tired of being a single mom in a relationship with my son's father. He's been trying to get me back, saying I ripped his family apart and how I'm such a narcissist for only thinking about myself. He's recently got clean from pills, and he's been guilting me to get back together by saying I'm the only reason he got clean and that he has nobody. I feel so terrible for leaving at the time, but I couldn't do it anymore. I've been so much happier since I left him, but this morning I woke up depressed. I was letting his words get to me. I wanted nothing more than to make our family work, but it's been really hard. That is so sad, and it's absolutely dumbfounding to me that this man can say, oh, you make enough money for you and our son, but I don't have to contribute at all. I do not care if you're making $1 million. This man still laid down to create a child with you. He needs to be financially responsible and do his part financially. I don't care if you make 1 million, 2 million, 3 million. He needs to contribute in all ways, physically, emotionally, financially, mentally, education, everything.
I agree with that wholeheartedly. The one thing that I would just say, if this was my situation, it's really hard to like get outside of your own head and think about things when you're mad, because you do things out of anger. And that's something that I've had to learn through therapy, that I shouldn't be making anger-based decisions. So, and I've worked really hard on that, and specifically in co-parenting. And I think that as much as he does not contribute financially, I would have to look at, okay, what would me explaining to my son why his dad can't come to his birthday party, then you start explaining, okay, well, because your dad doesn't pay for you, then you get into a whole nother list of issues that you could be making your child feel unworthy. So many other things. So I don't really believe in discussing those types of things with kids, because it's not kid stuff. But at the point that the dad can't come because of financial reasons and not providing, I don't agree with that, because I feel like the son would want him there. And if long term you're going to look back on this situation and be like, you know what, I was just like really angry then and I should have let him come, but I didn't because I was mad. That's just something that you have to be okay with living with.
But at what point do you draw the line between what you're saying? Because I do wholeheartedly agree with what you're saying. And also I'm leaving, he's 1, so he's not going to understand right now. But at what point do you draw the line between what you're saying and, okay, he's not coming because he's not doing his part, and I want my son to be able to form his own opinion. He didn't get to come because he wasn't taking care of his responsibilities and doing what he needed to do, kind of thing.
I promise you, like, kids will form their own opinions
okay.
without you having to exert yours onto them.
Okay. That makes sense. That's fair.
I fully believe that. And truly, yes, this child is so young. He's not even probably going to remember his first birthday party. But at the same time, I feel like it somewhat is a punishment to the child. And you just have to be very mindful when you're dealing with co-parenting aspects that the decisions you're making, it's not negatively impacting the child as if they're being punished for something that they didn't do.
Okay. So he's not stepping up or providing, to his full potential, but at the end of the day, that's Creed. But at the end of the day, you're saying let him be there even though he's not truly providing, and the child will still be able to form his or her own opinion.
Yeah, I think that if everybody can just get along and let the child figure it out for themselves, him or her themselves, that's the best case scenario. And the last part of that, I just want to say it's so hard when you feel like you want your family back, but you know that there's so many negative aspects that you shouldn't go back, and your head and your heart are in two different places. That's what it sounds like to me. And I've been there before, and it truly is the worst feeling, and it's restless. And I would definitely say lead with your head on that situation, because your head, it's not going to tell you the wrong thing, in my opinion.
Well, what really stuck out to me that she said is that she was essentially tired of being a single mom in a relationship. That's worse than being a single mom, is when you're with somebody who, I mean, you might as well just be single, and then you don't have to worry. You don't have that resentment, or you do, but you can kind of work through it and get through it a little easier. That resentment of being with someone who's just not pulling their weight and not doing what they need to do is something else. There's another topic from the Facebook group if you want to read it.
Okay, so this is from the Facebook group. So my 8-year-old asked me to please not come to his Christmas lunch at school, and I just thought it was a boy thing. My daughter, who was 13, was so mad because when she was his age, she wanted me to come to so many school events, but because the job that I had then, I couldn't. Tomorrow, his class has Rise and Shine program that the class puts together for the entire school, to grades 2 through 5. I told him I was coming, and he was so mad, but I thought that he was joking. So we were sitting at the table eating dinner, and I brought it up again just to see if maybe he was saying he didn't want me to come, but he didn't mind if I did. Well, he got so upset, and he said he didn't want me to come to his school because he was embarrassed of me. Aww. I have 3 very noticeable but not big moles on my face, and he said he was embarrassed of me because of that. I don't want to make this about me at all, but I can't lie and say it didn't hurt my feelings. I had to get up and go cry in my room because I don't want him to feel like I'm crying to make him change his mind and think about my feelings, but it hurts. I really was thinking about showing up and not even go up to him or anything, just watch him and leave. But after tonight's reaction, I don't know what to do. My mom's heart is telling me that maybe he does want me to come, but he doesn't want to say. This is so sad. Like, literally, I'm like crying.
No, I literally want to cry for her. I want to fucking cry for her.
But maybe he doesn't want me to come because he doesn't want to say it. But my human brain is telling me not to go and not embarrass my son, but I don't know what to do. I can't help but cry. And I want to understand that he is just a kid, but I can't believe that my son is embarrassed of me.
This hurts my heart so bad. If you guys go back and watch my 16 and pregnant, I had a huge mole next to my nose, and my entire life I was made fun of for that, and I hated it, and I was so insecure, and I used to dig and rip it off. Like, I would make myself bleed and pull it off because my mom wouldn't get it removed, and I was made fun of as a... You didn't? If you look back at like 16 and pregnant, I actually used $2,000 of my 16 and pregnant money to go to a plastic surgeon. I didn't even go to a dermatologist. Well, I think I did, and they referred me to the plastic surgeon because it was on my face, and the shit was so deep that it almost went through my whole lip. Like he couldn't. The plastic surgeon could not believe how deep it was, and he was scared that it was going to grow back. It was right here, and literally, I was so embarrassed of it. I was humiliated of it. And so I don't know if my kids would have been embarrassed of it too. So I completely understand what she's saying. And like,
That just
but on the
literally
other hand, like that hurts my heart that kids are so cruel that he would have to think about that. Like because her son doesn't know any different. So somebody must have said something to him about it, because kids don't typically think of stuff like that.
Yeah, I feel like we need more context to know if something else has come up about this ahead of time. And then now he's self-conscious about it. I don't know. Like, literally, I have tears
Horrible.
rolling
That's
down my
so
face,
sad.
first of all. Secondly, not everybody has the luxury of being able to like pay to get those things removed, you know? And so
100%.
that's so horrible. And I could just like never imagine my son being embarrassed of me. And that would be such a hard pill to swallow, knowing that like you've carried that baby and nurtured him and done all of these things. And then for your son to have those feelings would literally absolutely devastate me.
But she's such a good fucking mom, because she said, I had to get up and go cry in the room because I didn't want to make him feel like I'm crying to make him change his mind and think about my feelings. She has every right to be upset. I mean, for one, she must be a damn good mom if he felt comfortable enough to tell her this, you know, like he's 6 years old or 8 years old. He felt comfortable enough to say this to her. So she's got to be a good mom if he's feeling safe with her. Two, she didn't want to make it about her. And even though she was hurt, she wanted to go in the other room so that he didn't, you know, think that she was trying to guilt trip him. So she's a fucking amazing mom for recognizing some of these things. And
I will say,
I'm kind of speechless.
okay, so I think it is very common, more so with boys than it is girls, that they get embarrassed of their moms regardless. I was at Jackson's basketball game last weekend, and Will and I were standing together and waiting for like a game ahead of us to be over. And I was watching Jackson on the bench with like his buddies, and he kept literally making the meanest faces at me. And he walked over and he was like, "Don't be watching me and my friends. Look your face the other way." And I'm like, that's just part of them growing up. But this is a whole nother level of, and that used to, when it would happen, because it's happened a couple times, would like break my heart, or like him not wanting me to come into practice anymore because, you know, he's big now and like he can do it and his mom doesn't need to be there. So that is an adjustment that I think that a lot of parents do, or moms have to go through. But this is a whole nother thing that truly breaks my heart.
I just want to get to the bottom of it. I feel like something was said to him. I don't think he would typically be, I don't think he would be embarrassed of his mom. I do feel like this was influenced.
Like kids are very cruel.
They're so cruel. So hang in there. I'm sorry that, you know, you're going through this, but hang in there. Maybe talk to him a little bit more about why he's embarrassed, like why that would seem to bother him. I hate that for you. I'm so sorry.
Okay, let's do foul play.
Foul play. Okay. Hey, ladies, I have a foul play for you. I know you'll make this anonymous, but I just want to reiterate that I obviously like this anonymous since I'm giving you email, which has my name on it. Okay. So when I was around 20, my on and off again boyfriend at the time came over to my apartment that I shared with 3 roommates to hang out. My best friend at the time and her boyfriend, who was my boyfriend's best friend, came over as well. The 4 of us were hanging out, and my friend and her boyfriend decided to go in my roommate's room to fool around. She obviously wasn't home. My boyfriend and I went to my room and started getting busy ourselves. Afterwards, I came back out to the living room while my boyfriend went to the bathroom. My friend and her boyfriend were getting ready to head out. I had a blanket around my shoulders and walked over to say bye to them. Without warning, I let out a huge queef. My eyes widened, and my friend's boyfriend looked directly at my crotch in horror. I was dying, and instead of just owning and acknowledging it, I proceeded to make farting noises with my mouth and pretend it was my mouth the whole time. I guess the sex pushed a lot of extra air up my vag that evening because I then queefed again while simultaneously trying to cover it with fake noises from my mouth. Girls, who did I think I was fooling? That was 17 years ago, and I still remember it vividly. I never spoke of it after it happened. I love you guys and your bullshit so much. I hope this makes you laugh. A similar situation happened to me.
What?
Except for it wasn't from sex. Like sometimes air just gets up there, you know?
No. We've talked about this before. Air just doesn't travel up there.
No, it does, because I got out of bed, Lindsay. I stood up out of bed and there was a girl in my bed and it just was like, and it was a queef. It wasn't a fart. It was a queef. And so I just started making noise all around the room, but there was no deny. And we didn't have sex. So she couldn't have thought, oh, it was a queef. Like she 1000% thought it was a fart, and it wasn't. It was a queef. And I didn't know, I could have just said it was a queef, but like I would have no explanation for it.
Stop.
This is so relatable and I'm so sorry.
Okay, first of all, nothing like this has ever happened to me. I'm not saying I'm above it. I'm really not. I'm just saying it's never happened.
I'm not saying I'm above it.
It just never happened. And quite frankly, I think if it did happen, I wouldn't try to cover it up. I think
it's just a knee-jerk
draws
reaction.
more attention to it than what actually happened. I could totally see you queefing and then like stomping around like a dinosaur in your room, like doing stuff to like try to distract from what actually happened. I could totally see that happening.
Yeah.
Queefs are just like weird, and I'm also still convinced my vagina is not that kind. It like doesn't get air up there and then just like randomly just like fart.
I don't know why that happened to me.
It's a conundrum for sure.
It's a conundrum. What is conundrum?
See, maybe I do say big words and I don't even know.
Because that's the second time you said it, and I don't know what conundrum is. Like a situation.
It's like where your brain. It's like, see, and this is proof that I wasn't lying when I said that I can't explain things good. I don't know. Look it up. Like you guys all have cell phones. Like it's something where your brain is just like doing stuff. Like hold on.
Okay.
How do you spell conundrum? Oh wait, you know what? My parents used to tell me if you can't spell it, you shouldn't be saying it.
Oh, I mean, that's an interesting take for sure.
Yeah, that's what they use. Oh, wait. I thought it was with a K. It's definitely with a C.
I definitely thought it was with a C, so I'm a little smart.
Okay, so a confusing and difficult problem or question. That's what it is.
Okay. That's a difficult problem or... Okay, so...
You know, like, to me. Like your brain like can't figure it out.
Right.
Okay, second foul play.
Sounds about... Okay. My husband and I have been together 11 years. I've never really been into getting my something eaten. So they skipped a word. I don't know if they mean ass. She's never really been into getting her ass eaten
it's
or
definitely her coochie. It's definitely her coochie because I'm continuing to read.
Okay. I've never really been into getting my eaten, but he's really into it. So I finally told him, it just feels like you're doing a little tappity tap tap on my clit with your tongue. Maybe just add a little more oomph. So the next day he tries. It doesn't feel super awesome, but he's trying really hard and added in a little sucking. 10 long minutes go by and I'm like, yes, finally getting the D and V. But as he goes to put it in, he just stops suddenly and says, I reached down and y'all, I literally have a pair of balls. My inner labia swole up to the size of eyeballs. I still don't know how he didn't feel this slowly happening in his mouth. No D that night, and I spent the next 6 hours laying in bed with my legs open and ice on my, she forgot that word, and the next 2 days swollen in pain. 10 years later, I'm still not into oral and grin and bear the tappity tap tap once a week. What the actual fuck? What the fuck?
Okay, first of all,
he needs to not do that, and he does need to watch porn to figure out how to lick it right, because I have had 2 partners specifically, and I'm thinking of them right now, who I have literally told them, you specifically will not go down on me because you're terrible at it, and there's no hope for you.
Wait, you told them that
Yes.
to their face?
To their face. Both of them.
Oh, okay. Well, I've never had that experience, so I don't know about the little tappity tap with
Yeah,
the
what is
clit,
that? I
but
don't even know what that is.
that's just someone that doesn't know what they're doing. So, you know, I used to think that I wanted to be with an unexperienced man sexually, but honestly, I think the more experience they have, probably better, because they've like test drove a few, you know? So
Right.
maybe he just doesn't have a lot of experience with this. And so
But then
maybe
why
he
does he want to
doesn't,
do it once a week? What the fuck?
because some men, I have heard this before, some men like that's satisfying to them, but I have heard it satisfying them to satisfy you. So if you're not getting satisfied, how is that satisfying to him? You know?
Yeah, I don't know. I
And
don't know.
also, if my inner labia was swollen the size of eyeballs, someone's getting.
How, like, why though? Was she allergic to something he ate? Like, I don't understand why that would swell her up.
No,
My
because
inner
she said
labia
that,
swell up.
like, she said that he was sucking, right? I thought that's what she said. Yeah, a little sucking. Kill.
Okay. No, I'm here. I'm just like thinking about, I feel bad for
Like,
her.
do you suck? Okay, this is getting way too much. But I was going to say, do you like, is that a normal thing for your inner labia to be sucked? I don't know.
No, not that I can think of. No, absolutely
Like,
not. No.
no, I feel like I feel like we're on sex talks with Sue, honestly.
Oh my God. I remember sex talks with Sue Johansson. I loved her.
Yeah, didn't you love her?
Yeah, I did love her. I'm very particular about the cat being eaten. I just feel like there is a very specific way to do it, and you're either good at it or you're not, and there's not really room to grow in that field. You have to be kind of an anomaly to be able to, because once it's bad once or twice, I'm no longer giving you room to grow here. It's just not, that's something that is very specific for me. If you swelled my labia up to, golf balls, you're never going down on me again. I'm never sleeping with you again.
Honestly, you're never being talked to again.
Ever. Like, ghost, cut off. I don't know you. You don't exist.
Okay, but I do think that that should have been established like well before 11 years in that relationship, honestly.
Yeah. Yes.
So that's like the other thing. Also, I think that, you should definitely be open with your partner and be like, okay, I absolutely love that you do that, or absolutely hate that you do that, and be able to have open and honest conversations about stuff like that. And I think it's very healthy to like regularly do that.
But also, if she doesn't like it and she's not getting enjoyment out of it, how is he? Because I know, like,
that's
when
what
girls,
I said.
Yeah, like when girls give guys head, and some girls I'm sure like it. I'm sure some don't love it, but they love that they're pleasing their person. And so vice versa. Same for like when you go down on a girl, it's like, if they're not getting enjoyment out of it and they don't really like it, they're just doing it to do it. How are you getting enjoyment out? Like, I don't understand. So like, fuck that.
Yeah, the tappity tap on the clit gotta go.
Tappity tap.
But like
Good
literally,
fucking bye.
Literally, I also have to go. Because I'm starting to feel, like that churning in your stomach where it's like, something might be like brewing and it might come up. It's like that feeling.
Good.
So if you guys have not followed us on Coffee Combos Podcast on Instagram, make sure you follow us over there. We also have TikTok now, so you can follow our stupidity on TikTok. If you have not subscribed to the show, you can do that from any podcast app. Always first at Podcast One. Hope you guys have a great week, and we'll talk to you soon.
See ya.
All month long on Pluto TV, stream the biggest Tyler Perry movies free. Watch your favorites like Medea's Witness Protection and Medea's Big Happy Family. Join Tyler Perry as he goes on a couples retreat with Sharon Leal in Why Did I Get Married? Or Idris Elba and Gabrielle Union in the Tyler Perry directed film Daddy's Little Girls. Plus, Pluto TV has hundreds of channels with thousands more movies and TV shows. Available on live and on demand. Download the free Pluto TV app on all your favorite devices and start streaming now. Pluto TV. Drop in, watch free.